Hey everyone, welcome to Craven Something Scary, where it's all horror, all the time. Now in this video, I'm going to discuss Jamie Lee Curtis's recent comments that she made just a few days ago when asked about the fate of Michael Myers. Now, has she officially gone on record to confirm his ultimate fate in the upcoming Halloween Ends? It's time to dive in and find out. Let's go. So last week, while appearing at the Oscars, Jamie Lee Curtis was asked by a reporter the following question, quote, "Michael Myers, is he dead? There's an ending?" End quote. Jamie Lee Curtis then responded with this.
There's dead, and then there's dead. So really, what is dead in a Michael Myers universe?
Okay, so Jamie says, there's dead, and then there's dead. What is dead in a Michael Myers universe? So what is she telling us here, guys? I'll tell you what I think she's saying. I think she's telling us that we're going to see Michael Myers potentially dead, or what appears to be dead, but then at the end of this movie, there's going to be something that happens that lets us know he's really not dead, or he could possibly not be dead. They could go either way. They can make it definitive where there's an ending, he looks to be killed, whatever that method of death might be, by Jamie Lee Curtis or perhaps by Allison, which could definitely be the one who ends up killing him potentially. But either way, I think that this is what she's saying here, is that there's dead and then there's dead. But then she tags it with this question: what is dead in a Michael Myers universe? What's really dead, right? How do we know for sure? So to me, that almost cements it in my mind that we will not see Michael Myers be killed. There will not be a definitive death of Michael Myers in Halloween Ends. I believe that we will see a definitive death for Laurie Strode. I think Jamie Lee Curtis will absolutely not survive Halloween Ends. I've felt that way for quite some time now. Initially, my hope was, and my feeling was, that she's going to survive. Like they've got to have Laurie Strode survive this movie. She's got to kill Michael. She needs to come out. She's the ultimate original, the OG final girl. Again, my favorite final girl still is Sidney Prescott, Neve Campbell, my number one. But Jamie Lee is the OG final girl, right? We're going back to Halloween 78. She was the original, and she still is the original. She'll always be, in my mind, the OG final girl, no matter how many come in the future. Okay, so I have a very high respect, high regard for Jamie Lee Curtis and Laurie Strode, of course, the character. And so when the movie was first announced, my thought was she has to survive. We've got to have her come out victorious. This is Halloween Ends. It's going to be Michael Myers' end. We're going to, then she needs to take him out and survive this film and go off into the sunset happily ever after. And we say goodbye to the character of Laurie and to Jamie Lee Curtis forever, for her last appearance in the franchise. Well, since those times have come and gone, my view has changed now to where I do fully believe and am fully expecting Laurie Strode to die in Halloween Ends. I think they are going to kill her. I think she's going to die very much like Dewey died in Scream 5. It's going to be kind of a hero's type death, saving Allison from being killed. Maybe she steps in and she nearly kills Michael herself. And maybe this is epic, and which is what I'm hoping to see, is an epic battle. I hope epic showdown and the final act of this movie. I know there's a lot of theories on how it could go. Some, I've heard a lot of folks talk about how they think maybe it'll happen earlier in the movie, like the middle part of the film, kind of like Dewey. Again, kind of mirroring what we saw in Scream 5, where he goes out in the middle, and then Sydney and Gail come in to finish the thing off. Well, maybe in this one, we see Laurie killed by Michael around the midpoint of the film, and then Allison ends up being the new final girl. She ends up taking over and possibly killing Michael, or does she? That's what we're hearing from Jamie Lee Curtis. But here's the thing I want to see this epic showdown with Jamie Lee Curtis, with Laurie Strode versus Michael. And I think that is when she will die. Whenever it happens, whether it's the middle part of the movie, or as I hope it is at the end, where we have the epic showdown to finish this trilogy out, whenever it takes place, I'm on record by saying I do now expect Laurie Strode to not survive Halloween Ends. I do believe she'll die in this showdown with Michael. It's going to happen. And Allison will survive. I think Allison will survive, and she'll be at the very end of it all, the one that kind of carries on, and the movie ends with her, reflecting back on her mom and her grandma and all this. So the question comes back to, though, Michael Myers. So I believe that we are now going to see, based on Jamie Lee Curtis's comments here at the Oscars last week, saying that, is he, there's dead and then there's dead. Okay. What is dead in the Michael Myers universe? I wish she had not said that. If she had just said, there's dead and then there's dead, I'd be like, oh, okay, yeah, he's gone. He's like, in other words, it's going to be overkill. It's going to be such an obvious death that we're all going to have no doubt in our minds whatsoever that Michael Myers is dead. It's official, done deal, either like an H2O decapitation, or something like that, even though we know that wasn't really him. But I still like to think it was when I watch that movie every time. But something like that where it's so clear, like heads off, there's no coming back from that. Body ripped in half, there's no coming back from that, okay? This type of a death, that's what I would think we would be looking for if she just had said there's dead and then there's dead. But then she ends it with this last sentence. What is dead in a Michael Myers universe? Oh, crud. That was the moment where I said, all right, okay, we're not going to know for sure. We are not going to know for sure whether he's dead or not in this movie. So they're going to he'll be, possibly appear to be killed, whether it be stabbed, falling off the radio tower, which you guys know how I feel about the radio tower. I'm very nervous about the radio tower. Ever since I heard David Gordon Green's comments that was going to be a very important role, it will play a very important part in this movie, I'm still been very, very nervous, and I will not stop being nervous about that radio tower until I see the movie, and hopefully not see that it's in some way controlling Michael Myers. Having all that aside, he'll fall off the tower, or he'll get stabbed, he'll get apparently killed, and I believe what will happen is, much like we saw in 78 after he was shot by Loomis, he falls off the balcony. I think we'll find out that they'll pan down to him, the camera will pan down, and he'll be gone, or he'll be laying there, but then he'll twitch at the very end or turn his head at the last second. There'll be something to indicate he's still alive, and he won. Ultimately, he won. He killed Laurie Strode, and he's still alive. So that is what I'm thinking, guys, for this comment. Now, I want to know, what do you think? What are your thoughts on Jamie Lee's comment that, there's dead and then there's dead, but what is dead in the Michael Myers universe? That's something, let that sink in for a minute. I want to hear what you think. So start entering your comments right now below so we can begin a discussion to talk about it. And I want to see what your thoughts are. Do you have any theories or ideas on what that could mean? Do you agree with me that you think it's possibly meaning it's ambiguous, that maybe we don't know if he's dead or not, or that he's going to survive? Or do you feel like it might mean something else? I'd like to know what you think. All right, well, that's going to be it for this update, guys. But listen, I'll be back soon with more Halloween Ends and other horror movie content. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And until next time, this is Craving Something Scary, where it's all horror all the time. Thanks for watching.